All right, welcome everybody here to the Raleigh Municipal Light Plant Board of Commissioners meeting here for June 12th, 2019, Wednesday, 7 p.m. This meeting is recorded and will be shown on Raleigh Community Media probably, I think, tomorrow. All right, so let's go ahead and get the meeting underway.
Actually, you gotta leave it open. So
Just a crack, yeah.
But you can close it.
So from 7 o'clock to 7:10, we will have citizens query. So anyone is welcome to make any comment or question should they have any. Moving on to item number 2, to review and accept the previous meeting minutes. For this meeting, we don't have any minutes. Correct, Eric? Yep. All right. So we will have those for the next meeting. Agenda item number 3, single sign-off. This is for warrants and payroll. Mark, do you want to discuss?
So, a little bit about, yeah, sure, thanks, Brian. A little bit of background on this was, I think it's a housekeeping item that we're trying to be a little bit more efficient in getting the accounts payable warrant and the payroll warrants signed off by a single point of contact, a single person who had the responsibility of just signing off on it after both the accounts payable warrant and the payroll warrants have been reviewed by the full board. So the review process is the way that it's intended to work is both warrants, accounts payable and payroll, a summary is emailed out to all the commission members, and after that, if there's any question on any or all of the items listed on the warrant detail listing, payroll or accounts payable, they can be followed up on by each individual board member, and at that point, it would be signed off by one person. So one person would be designated for that sign-off. I've been in contact with Town Council Bailey, and she had sent me an email. I'm just going to, for the record, I'm just going to read it real quickly. And she is asking for a light board vote stating who will be signing and who would sign in the absence of the first person signing. And there's also stipulation that a report to the board on what was spent. So the report to the board on what was spent, again, is done by email with a detailed listing of the warrant for accounts payable and payroll. So that part is covered. So what we need now is a board vote to execute the form, and I think we would be covered for purposes of Sue Bailey. So.
Okay. Matt, so right now with the payroll, at least the documents that I've seen, sometimes Eric, you'll send out a copy of it and it has all the line items and all the pages. My only thought would be on the warrants is that all you'd be getting would be the cover sheet with all the line items for it, but then actually seeing all the information behind it. Would that be too laborious to scan also and include that?
I'd try doing it. I don't know if it's going to be a big enough document that would kick out on an email.
Okay.
We definitely can try compressing it.
Okay.
Why don't we tinker around in the office and see what we can do?
Yeah, that would be my only thought is then if you're, I personally go in and I look through every page, and I think that there's value to that, just to be aware of and cognizant of what's going on as far as the warrants. I would hope not lose that if it would just go to a single email with a sign.
No, and they're always available if you do want to stop in. I think the sole purpose of this is just so it can get signed and we can push it down to town hall so they can do their job.
With
then
one
waiting on us with the one signature.
Yeah, it saves me more time.
Yeah.
So sure. Right. We're on busy schedules.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds fine with me. I think if we can arrange it and it's everything's available, whether it be scanned or you can look at it in the office.
What I can do is try doing the scanning this next warrant cycle and we'll see.
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how
see what it is.
goes.
I mean, you know, it's usually a stack, so
Right.
it's
We're here
probably
every
gonna be a
month,
mess
if,
with the,
if something comes up and we don't like it, we can make a change.
Correct, yeah.
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 So, is Sue gonna prepare a document, or you need to prepare some
I'm actually gonna
sheet?
use what they use in Wakefield.
Did you send that to Sue, or?
I did.
Okay.
She has it,
Okay.
but she still required the,
Yeah.
per the email, she wanted the board vote, she wanted
Okay.
it discussed, she wanted it, documented.
Okay. So there's a template that we can go by that she has.
Oh, okay, cool.
That she's satisfied, I believe she's satisfied with. So
Yes.
If we need to tweak it, we need to tweak it.
Did it sound like there
The
are
most important thing that she stressed was she wanted the backup. She
Okay.
wanted two people that could do this single sign documentation.
Yeah, I would say at least
That was
out of 3 board members, when there are 3
Yeah.
board members, that at least 2 of them would be available at any given time.
Mhm.
I didn't talk with her about this. Are there other departments that do this as well? Did she have no comment on that, or
I'm
Sound like-
unaware of any.
it doesn't sound like from
departments in town.
that she was thrown off as far as it being a wild.
I don't believe any
Concept.
other department does it,
Okay.
but this might be a upcoming thing in the future.
I
Sounds
think, don't the selectmen sign off on
Yeah, it's just,
everything? I mean, are there any, so other than, it's just the enterprise funds, just water and?
just water and electric would be the
Have
only
their own
commissioners. Cemetery, yeah.
Right.
Okay. And I don't know if Bill's a cemetery care, but payroll, Okay.
I don't know, Mark, in your experience, it sounds like you do this
Yeah.
at Wakefield. Has it been a positive? Is there
Yeah.
any?
There hasn't been any drawback at
Drawback.
all, and we haven't had any problems with it. I mean, when someone moves on or moves off the board, Matt, you just have to remember that we need a new vote. We need a new vote if someone comes on or off the board.
Good.
So to maintain this going forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. Okay. So we need a motion to create a form and designate a first and second person.
So I'll make a motion that the board, the commissioners execute whatever forms are necessary for the town accountant to be able to process accounts payable and payroll warrants. With a single sign off. The primary point of contact being Brian Persa. Backup being myself, Mark Cousins. After review of the warrants, both warrants has taken place. I think that covers it.
I think so.
Very good. Yeah, great.
So that's my motion.
Yeah. Second the motion.
Aye.
All in favor? Aye. Perfect.
1, 2, 3. One of those.
May I have this email?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So that was item number 3. Item number 4 for the agenda is a Q&A for potential commissioners. We've got 3 individuals here today. I'll let them introduce themselves. Want to have a somewhat of an informal yet structured kind of question and answer session here. We have some board developed and department developed questions that we'd like to ask each of you and get some back and forth here. So we'll go ahead and start on my left here. See.
Hi everyone, my name is Sayal Mashiro. So I'm not sure how long the introduction should be, but I've been living in Raleigh for 4 years now with my family, my wife and 2 daughters. My background is in energy markets, so in in the power sector. I've been doing that for almost 15 years now, in a position of consultant, um, doing mainly policy design, regulatory framework analysis, market review, and so on. In addition to that, I'm currently the asset manager for an owner and operator of hydropower stations. So what I do is regulatory compliance, fair pre-licensing. I engage with stakeholders, including state agencies and consumers, especially on matters related to relicensing. I'm not sure how deep you want the introduction to be. Just
Pretty good. Be brief. Yeah.
so,
That's good. Okay. Thank you, Steve.
Great.
Thank you.
Sure. Mike Vaccaro, been in Raleigh for a couple of years myself. Retired from the electric company for 35 years down in Connecticut, in Northeast Utilities, and worked in a variety of capacities from energy efficiency and consulting with some of the major commercial industrial customers, and dealing with reliability and all. And I mentioned this last time I was here, the reliability in Raleigh's been great, I'm glad to say. So, keep up the work, and that's always important, is the maintenance and keeping the poles and wires and keeping people safe. So, at a reasonable
Thank
cost.
you.
That's the obviously balanced trick. So,
Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you.
I'm Dave Lozak, in Raleigh for 20 years. Currently electrical inspector, used to be on the board. Was on the zoning board of appeals for 18 years and just stepped down on that to let someone move up. Had my own electrical business, and I've been the inspector since 1995. So always had a lot of interaction with the light company rather. And they are doing a good job. The men that work for them are excellent. When they do a job, it's done thoroughly, and you couldn't ask for a better crew.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Do you want to take turns, or would you like me to lead the charge on the questions?
Well, maybe you, because I don't know.
Yeah,
You can
I'm
just
fine with that.
you can choose which one out of these. It's,
You want to just do the same thing? We'll just go Saeed, Michael, and
Sure. Yeah.
David. All three will answer the same question.
Yeah.
Awesome. So first we'll do, what interests you most about serving as a Raleigh Municipal Light Plant Commissioner?
Right. So first of all, I have to say that we all share the same opinion about what the campaign has been doing here. Since we've been living in Raleigh for 4 years, we have nothing really to say about reliability. It's been great. For me, it's more about serving and using my experience, working for different players on issues that we're going to be discussing and reviewing as a board member. So this includes budgeting, planning, payroll discussion, and so on. So this is something that I've done, and I would like to have the opportunity to be of service to a community that I like, because we've been living there for 4 years, and I just would like to be able to make a difference one way that I know that I can. So.
Excellent. Thank you.
yes. Giving back to the community is something that I've always been doing. I'm involved all around the Newburyport and around here. So, as far as being, on the commission here, which is something that, might be, you said, sharing that responsibility that you had, or the experiences that you've had, and just sharing that. So,
Did you say you had 35 years at Northeast Utilities?
been fun. It's been a good, in a variety of capacities and stuff. So from capacity planning is when we started planning out to the year 2020. It's like, wow. Back in 1980, that's how they plan out for what generation and all that. I mean, they did.
That's it, yeah. You got it.
You should go back and compare.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what
that's
it
what
looks like.
It's funny, but
Thank you, Michael.
yeah.
Well, I always get involved. Like I say, I was probably on the board when we hired all the boys that are working now, and making sure that we get new apprentices that, coming up when we have an opening, and bringing through the training, which is very good here in Raleigh.
The succession planning has been great, and
Yeah.
I thank you for that, because I'm definitely gonna reap the benefit for that.
And, you know, most important, like, to me, I like to bring common sense, and keep the rates down. We implemented one thing a long time ago, was to let the crew themselves do some of the trimming, because they proved that they were saving us money by doing that, and they do that. And, you know, just, you know, help the community. There was, I didn't know there was an opening, and they just, you have to have 3 men on the board here to keep things going. And that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
So I might bounce around a little. I don't know if we necessarily have to ask every single one, so I think I'm gonna ask the ones that I pick, and if you guys wanna, you know, fill in the remainders, you know, feel free.
I'll just say that
Yeah.
Citizens Query closed.
Um,
Gotta set a timer for that or something.
So if you could rank the following in order of importance: local control, rates, environmental stewardship, and reliability. If it
Yeah.
helps you guys,
Yes, we actually.
I'll give you a piece of paper that's got that written down.
It's the last question.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, what I think should be a mission of a utility is to provide reliable electricity to as many people as possible, at a cost that is accessible to the mass, right? So saying that, obviously you capture most of it. Local control is important, and for just as an example of what the gentleman just said earlier about the crew being able to trim by themselves, you know, that's a way that you can directly impact the ratepayers, because you know exactly that you have this crew, you know them, and they can do the job. You don't need to go and contract somebody to do the job, so you can save money that way. So you have a little bit of control. It's not that bad. So if I have to rate them, you want to rate them on a scale of 10, 5, or?
More or less
In-
just,
in
just
order.
in order. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult
Order
because
of
they're all very
importance.
good. Environment stewardship is very important to me, because sustainability is a key element to us being able to continue to exploit the resources anyway. So we have to do it in a very responsible manner, right? So I would say reliability, maybe 1, because you know you have to make sure that you keep the lights on for all the businesses and the residents, especially during the winter if something happens. So I would rank that 1, and then rate number 2 to be affordable by as many people as possible. Environmental stewardship 3, and local control 4.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would have to look there too. I think reliability I would look at first for myself. You know, reliable system and safe. I think environmental I would actually look at too as number 2. The other thing, the local control and rates, I think you can, you know, balance that together, like you said, contracting or not, whatever. There's things you can do internally for, you know, rates, either, you know, getting rebates or making sure, again, I don't know what other types of things you have to recapture money, I don't know, through customers that aren't paying and things like that. That's a whole other business, I guess, so.
Yeah, you definitely wear many hats in a small department. For
Yeah.
sure.
Subsidies. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
My talk would be local control is the most important. I mean, we've been doing a heck of a job for all these years, you know, doing it ourselves in rates, keeping it down as low as possible, buying it at the right time. And, you know, we've gone out to Maine, buying it, coming in and all that, and hydro. And of course, environment. And reliability, I mean, like I said before, we got the best crew around. You know, the guys are workers, and they do their job right, and that's why we don't have a lot of breakdowns like other towns have, you know, so doing a good job, boys.
All right. Thank you. Back to Said. Can you provide us an understanding of the needs required to support the core operations of an electric utility the size of Raleigh Municipal Light Plant?
Well, the needs are multiple. I guess we have to break it out in terms of what are the key drivers to the business or the key component to the business, right? So you need to have a pretty solid crew to be able to do the work, and so those people, they will need to be well trained and experienced, and being able to learn from their own mistakes and experience on the ground. You need to have leadership. It's important to have somebody on top of the organization who has a vision for the organization and who is in tune with what's happening on the market in general, right? So I was really happy to see when we came for the board meeting a month ago now that there was some solar development here with community aggregator flavor to it, which is great. It's something that's been happening around the states, and having that in Raleigh is already a good thing. So I would say the leadership of the person at the top of the organization, a very solid crew, being able to work with reliable contractors also, that's important. So developing this relationship over the years with the contractor, yeah, that's. Now, I mean, this is in terms on the human capacity front. So now, in terms of equipment, it's a different conversation. I'm sure this gentleman probably have better idea than me, but you probably need you don't need to be fancy about the type of equipment that you have as long as you can do the job. And I'm saying that because when I was working for Really Breeder Technologies, one thing that they were doing in the budgeting and planning, they were cutting costs and really trimming all the fat and just focusing on what makes sense and that is efficient. So I think that's the same mindset that we must have.
Thank you.
Yeah, I get the big picture from a bigger utility, what it takes to operate that. I can't imagine, you have from rates departments to whatever, revenue requirement, all that stuff, right? You do it all, I guess, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
that's the big difference, I guess, where you'd have departments that would do this and do that. And
we're 8.
maintenance, you're one. So,
Total of 8 employees.
right. So I do get what it takes to do that, but it's a lot of work. So, I don't know.
Well, like I said before, we got a good crew. And you just came on, which is, I know your reputation from Ipswich and the other towns. They picked a good guy when they got you. That's one smart thing, and I happen to know Cousin from before, and you got a good start of commissioners. And I mean, you just keep saying it over and over, it's the crew. I mean, the crew, the leadership, we have it. We got a good crew, they train very well. They work together, it's almost like a family, it's been like a family, so.
Yeah, it's a
And
close
that's why
knit
it's
group.
good.
It always has been.
Exactly.
And you
And
pick
that's
up on
the
that.
nice part about it being small.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, big isn't always better.
Yep.
I like that you mentioned the commission, Dave, because again, it's back to the whole teamwork thing. It really is.
Right.
It's a group effort. It's a team effort, and without a good board and leadership like you talked about, it really is. It's like a whole bunch of different moving parts to make the whole thing run smooth. And it's definitely looking forward to it. But thank you. I'm going to start with someone else now. Say after I asked you the last question, I'm like, geez, I don't know if that's good or bad. But poor guys answered it first and everything.
Right.
So we'll go to you, Mike, for this one. How do you see growing technologies such as smart grids, renewables, battery storage playing a role in a smaller system like RMLP?
Yeah, so again, on the small, that was my background, was with energy efficiency and solar back in the early days.
One of the
But I think,
pioneers.
yeah, absolutely. But I think, the big thing with with the solar, any kind of interconnection, it's the safety thing for the line workers and stuff like that. That's probably the biggest thing that I've always, was concerned with, so. Although it's, it's coming, it's on its way. See all the microgrids and all this stuff with the cost of electricity being what it is, that's more and more has been cost effective. I guess the wind turbines now are big, and so you're gonna start seeing more and more.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
It's not going away. There's goals that people have for,
Right.
2020, they've gotta be a certain percentage green and stuff, so.
Yeah, so you're pretty well versed on
Yeah.
some of what's going on.
I think the electric
Down the
vehicles I'm
Hmm.
very familiar with electric vehicles and stuff. That has grown quite a bit too, some of the hybrids and the all-electric vehicles now. So,
Excellent, thank you. Do you want to go next,
Well,
David?
he's about touched it all, but like the battery situation, I think that's coming more and more. Windmills, I'm not I don't like windmills. I've seen them blow up, I've seen them burn up. And we have people have these towns that have contracts, they break down, they say, now you gotta take it down. They say, no.
Princeton?
We're bankrupt, they're out of business, now the town's stuck with it. So you gotta be careful there, That's why I don't mind the battery and the solar thing, that's the way I'd go. I mean, you gotta discuss it, everything's different every time it comes in, so it's just the kind of my general thought,
Excellent, thank you. Say-
Right, exactly what he's saying is like everything is different, so it depends on the perspective of the town, right? Raleigh is fairly small, so the question will be, is this cost effective to have those technology here? And what is the purpose of having a battery storage installation, for instance? Because we talk about reliability, maybe it's for backup power, so maybe it's something that we can think about. But if we go ahead with that, it has to make sense because the system is fairly small. In terms of energy efficiency, I think it's very important to take the low-hanging fruit. So anything that we can do to reduce the energy consumption, we could do it. I saw there's a lot of programs that are offered for energy savings appliances and things like that by in Raleigh here. So we should continue with those and push the envelope up to the point where we've done what we think. We've done everything in our power to reduce the demand. This is on the demand side. Now we talk about the smart grid. What smart grid is useful for the consumers and the utilities. So it depends of what are you gonna do with it. If you're the utility, you probably want to be able to control the load and reduce the load if possible, or know what's happening at the peak time. And for the consumer, if there is a program that is in place that allows you to move your consumption based on times of use, you will do that. But again, we have to look at it from a holistic perspective and see if it makes sense for a town like Raleigh.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm thinking, I'm happy with the responses, and I think we got a pretty good idea of where everyone's head's at. I would like to ask the three candidates, if you have some questions for us, I think now's a good time to.
I think it'd be good if you put the lights on so the people can see it.
Come on, we're conserving energy.
Well, there's that common sense thing you were talking
There we go.
about.
Right.
Saving the
Good
library.
thinking.
Just a quick question for the crew. So you mentioned that the crew goes through training. How often is it? Do you guys have mandatory training?
We do. So interestingly enough, there's no like lineman's license in Massachusetts. But what they do every single year is pull-top rescue, first aid and CPR,
Okay.
and bucket rescue. That's mandatory, required. There's no just signing your name, like it's witnessed, they did it. It has to be done. About 12 safety meetings a year. We have a new apprentice that was hired before I started, Jeff Valley, and so he goes down to NEPR every couple months, which is Northeast Public Power Association down in Littleton.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes to line school down there, and his field supervisor and the superintendent, Mark, who, you know, work with him the most hands-on, you know, will report back to me with his progress. He's got a whole list of stuff he has to check off. He has written exams, tests, field work down at school. He's climbing every week, you know, on our system. And he'll get through, he'll probably make bottom step first class in about three and a half years. Now, having said that, it's, you know, Dave touched on it earlier, an experienced crew, a good crew, knowledgeable crew. You need, well, Michael, you know, you need about 10 years after that before you're really like the backbone of a crew or somebody that the foreman can just hand them something and send them out and do it. So it's one of those fields that they're lifelong learners.
Right.
Did he get his license for driving a truck yet?
Yes, yeah, he's a Class B.
Yeah.
We don't have any Class A drivers.
So there's no dispatchers or anything. I'm thinking of the bigger utility, we have a dispatcher and stuff. That's you
So
calling on the radio.
All in
saying,
So we don't
phone
have
number such and such.
We don't have a SCADA system.
So there's
You'll
none
hear
of
some
that.
radio transaction, but to put the feeder
So
on
something
reclays,
happens.
they gotta run down to the station and actually hit the toggle switch. Yeah, we can't open breakers from the,
No, I just,
From the
because
office.
I'm thinking the way I.
You're
So
too
from that
big.
standpoint.
You're too big.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It's like, no,
Our biggest thing is we put in the emergency
switch.
generator.
Yeah.
no, it was handed over in great shape, and I worked here as a part-timer, actually. Dave was on the board at that time, when I was working nights in Reading, and they've always had good employees that did the right thing. I mean, Eric can attest to that, he's been here a long time. But yeah, it's to answer your question, in the long form, I guess. It's, it's a lot of training.
Right.
It's you know, confined space, pull-top rescue, CPR,
And
chainsaw
they're all
safety.
in Massachusetts, all done in Massachusetts?
The
or you guys
municipal
travel?
linemen are all
Okay.
participate in these trainings.
Okay.
It's a nice place to work. It's a great, the municipal job is a great place to be as a lineman, because we really do emphasize the safety.
Right.
Not only public safety, but employee safety as well. It's when you're a contractor, it's, you know, they say it, you know,
Mhm.
they preach it, but they're also pushing to get
Right.
production. You know, we have nice equipment and they're well trained. So, you know, and the ratepayers reap the rewards for sure.
Right.
Any other
No,
questions?
but I didn't have anything else.
But this is probably just just on the side question. I consider, and this is a question for everyone, installing, because I haven't seen any EV charger in Raleigh, because I know they have one in Ipswich and Newburyport.
Yeah, it's
But
definitely,
is it something that was considered?
it's in the discussions, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we know it's,
They're gonna be coin operated?
Some of them are different. I used to run
The
the,
town's gonna end up paying for it.
that in Connecticut, we have that, so there's two type, I mean, you wanna get a two.
Yeah, it's a type 1 and type 2. You want a type
You
2,
do wanna
yeah.
get a bigger.
Yeah.
System.
That would be
Tesla
nice.
ended up putting them along the Merritt Parkway for
Oh, we should talk to them.
for nothing, and I think there's a credit card thing now.
Yeah, it's
Because they have a separate connector, it's not they are.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same,
It's been talked about a little bit here and there over the last year.
Not that hard.
Some things
to
around.
install, it's just a.
yeah, no,
No.
it's more
Well,
or
it's
less
like-
a location at this point.
The location.
Clipper Creek, or any of the ones that have.
We're doing a couple, I think,
Control
for
arm.
automation.
Yep.
We're doing a couple.
Yeah, yep, you're right. It's, I know Reading had put a bunch in.
It's like third party,
Yeah.
we wire a hand meter on it, and it's
Analog devices put some.
Yeah.
somebody else,
Sure.
somebody else, hands off,
Yeah.
and that's.
That was always the big issue.
Yeah.
What's the deal
The
with the pennies?
Any hotel you go to nowadays, you see
Yeah,
them
it's
on
a
the-
hundred up,
Charges, yeah.
they all have 'em. Even, you know, the Holiday Inns, it's
Yeah.
Holiday Inn Express, they all got 'em. Yeah, it's an interesting time in this field. There's
Yeah.
a lot of changes happening. All right, so if you guys have no more questions for us, I think that completes the Q&A for the potential commissioners.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you
for
very
coming.
much.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Go Bruins.
That's right.
Stay up, it's actually not too bad, so.
We're doing on time. All right.
Pretty good.
All right. Continuing on. That was item number 4. So item number 5. Shave the Peak discussion for the summer. I wanted to bring this up to kind of discuss in the board here. I've got a couple handouts here. I only have a few because I fought with my printer and lost. So they're all different, but they all have the same information in them. Essentially, I kind of got involved with this a little bit last year. So the Mass Energy Consumers Alliance, which was changed their name recently to the Green Energy Consumers Alliance, has the Shave the Peak program. So essentially what they do is they allow users, or basically it's the only free offering in New England or Massachusetts. It's kind of between Massachusetts and Rhode Island. So anybody can go and they sign up for these alerts on the website, and you get a little text message on the day of the peak, and it'll say, here we're expecting the peak. Actually, it goes about a day ahead. We're expecting the peak between like 3 and 7 the following day. Here, be mindful of that.
Yep.
It's a means of informing their subscribers. Like I said, it's a free cost.
It's a reverse 911 for.
It is more or less, yeah. So people they have to go in, they got to put your cell phone number and stuff like that. And it's an awareness of what is happening on the power grid. So there's some. I kind of just compiled this sheet here from some of the slides that they had. So it's kind of it's not a 1-for-1 from their presentation, but it kind of gives you an understanding of peak shaving and everything like that. I mean, Mark, I'm sure you know this as well from Wakefield and Matt as well.
Yeah, it's a volunteer, people that want to be conscious of it and aware and make a difference. I'm pretty familiar with this.
Yeah.
We did a Shave the Peak campaign in Reading.
There you go. Right.
I can actually send you a PowerPoint presentation on it. I can get her from Joyce, the woman down in Reading. But it was, Eric and I discussed it a little bit today. It would be similar to the community solar. We could do a sign up, and we could find out who was interested in being notified, and then we could do the reverse 911.
Well, they can actually. The power is in the user's hands.
Yes.
I mean, I think our role would be to get the information, spread the word, get the word out there. I think there's something, and this probably, Brian, ties in with the social media discussion. You know what I mean?
Yes.
'Cause that's how do we get it out there? You know what I mean? So we can get it out there, but a blurb on the website. Somehow we get the word out there, and we could. I mean, people aren't going to page through all of it, but maybe if we boiled some of this down into a, hey guys, this is really worthwhile, and sign up here, click here to sign up, and we want you to do this.
Exactly. Yeah, I was in communication with with the group here in the last month or so there. So they are going to be starting a summer campaign.
Yeah.
So they're looking to have like a single page flyer or brochure, just something that you can put in bill, or something where it's got a small blurb or a graphic that's just says, hey, Shave the Peak, go here to sign up for it, get your free alerts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I agree. I think it is.
But it's got to be, like you said, it's got to be like a 1-page bill stuff, or something like that, because people with 2 pages, they're like,
exactly. to the point, something that's not
Toss
crazy
it on
about.
that box on the bill itself.
Yeah.
And a stuff.
And if
Mhm.
Yeah.
maybe one
So
month we do it one way, another month we do it whatever.
I know once we get all this, little changes we've made with the finances and the new operating accounts and all that type of stuff, I definitely would like to look into, right now we manage our own website, and it's okay. A lot of other neighboring towns have farmed that out and hired, and it's pretty affordable.
Yeah.
And their websites are a lot better than ours, and we need to get ours up to snuff. And I think this is a great way to for me to jump into that.
I mean, if you could talk to some of your compadres and see who they use, some of the local, smaller, managers, see who they use and that type of thing. I don't know if there's one person that does like a lot of them, or is everybody on their own?
Groveland does their own. Middleton, Georgetown, and Merrimack, I believe, have the same.
Yeah.
I know
Definitely.
Ashburnham is. the
Ashburnham is the same as
company.
Middleton.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kevin, I could talk to Mike.
I just don't want to recreate the wheel, you know, if somebody does this.
Absolutely.
Right, so,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's, yeah, basically,
Where
we talked about that.
we're such
here
a
too.
small, staff department, Eric and I have already had these discussions where it's like, it would be, much better and more efficient for us to be able to just say, hey, put this up, take this down, put this up, take this down. They'll come out, they'll do the pitches, they'll redesign it, kind of dress it
Yeah.
up a little fancier than it is.
Something way easier access.
Yeah, because people do, and again, we also have the Facebook page. I think we get rid of the Facebook page. It's too many places to go. Like, you got to zone it into one. You're not going to go on Facebook to pay your bill. You're going to go to the website.
Yeah,
So
right.
if you're already visiting the website, you might as
Get your
well.
back or something, yeah.
Yeah, you might as well get all the information you're going to want or ever need from one source.
I mean, if there is something, I mean, the town has a Facebook page, or there's a couple of Facebook pages, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, if we ever wanted to insert some, somehow,
It
Yeah.
can be shared, like you're
Yeah.
sharing it from the other.
I think that might be confusing if, it's, water department has one, light department has one, you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of overloaded, people,
Yeah.
but,
Yep.
I don't know. I am not a social media, I'm not a social media guru,
So yeah, I look forward to diving into that and between the website and, Shave the Peak discussion for the summer and getting the information out there, I think it's,
Yeah.
I think there's value there, for sure.
yeah, no doubt.
Good way to, engage the public and the customers.
Yeah, education is huge.
Yeah.
A lot of, it doesn't, why would you know if you're not in this field? A lot of people just need to be educated, and if they have, the knowledge, they'll start exercising,
Right.
things differently to
Mhm.
make a difference.
So yeah, I'm hopeful I can get some more information for this. I'll send it to you, Matt.
Sure.
As far as like maybe a graphic or something like that, I can get it from the group here. And
Yeah, it's like now's the time to do it, right?
it is, yeah, and that's. They were saying that they're supposed to get a campaign going out here to start in the summer, so now we're about the summer.
Yeah,
So if it was something where you could get out next bill or something
Yeah.
like that,
No, that's good stuff,
that would be a
good stuff.
good means. I don't think we need to vote anything, not necessarily. It's more of just a discussion for this.
Yeah.
It's in your purview, Matt, to
Yeah, definitely.
get something out in the bill.
I will send you that PowerPoint presentation, and I'll do a little bit more digging on the website information, cost, that type of stuff, and services.
Yeah. Yeah, and basically, the next item on the agenda is the website and social media. It's basically talking about at the same time here. One thing I do want to bring up specifically on it is, so the water department in the last year has got a new website going, and it uses the same format as the police department in town.
As far as the drop downs
It's
and all
the
that
same, basically the same contractor group that does a lot of municipal
Okay.
department, like safety departments, things like that, utility department websites.
Yep.
So that if we wanted to make something maybe look slightly uniform as other town things, maybe that one would be a good option to kind of get a quote for, or see,
Yeah.
investigate further.
And see who else these guys, Raleigh guys, see what light departments they do.
Yeah.
And we can look on their page and see if it's
Yep.
something we
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're speaking our
So-
language. We've talked with the chief about AEDs. We've talked about gas meters, and it's like, hey, let's all get on the same page.
Yeah.
God forbid something happens, like, hey, it'll just be second nature. So, you get the same one I got. Like,
There, yeah,
so
there you go. The
carrying on with the website, I think that
Yep.
makes total sense as well.
Yep, and the town is looking to do an updated website. We just voted on that. And that, I think they were gonna go with this Civic Plus format, that like if you go to like Groveland or some of the other towns, that's the format that they use. It's kind of it's got a tool on the top. It kind of follows a similar structure.
Is that who the water department and police department
No,
is?
it's different. It's different. So you need to-
John Gilpole.
John, yes, something JC.
Gilpole.
Yes, you're on the right track.
But a
Yeah.
lot of the police departments use him,
Mhm.
and
It's a nice structured
Yeah,
website.
it is.
Yeah, if you looked at either the police or the fire water department, it's clean. It's clean. It looks like it could be updated from the back end fairly easy. It doesn't look like it's a manual type of process. That's just an idea, if we're looking to keep something looking uniform with the town, other town, utility departments and things.
Yeah, it sounds, we'll start looking into it and get you guys some information and see what suits us best.
Yeah, and then, social media, I'm not big on social media either, but, there is, like you mentioned, there is the website, there is the Facebook.
So it has
Site.
its time and place for my thoughts, and again, we've discussed it, I've talked with Eric, I've talked with Mike, the superintendent, when I think of social media, it definitely has its purpose, getting information out there, and it would be during a storm event, and like you said, we can get on board with the town. I just got sworn in under the storm committee and went down and talked with the chief of the fire department, met the chief of police, made sure they have my email, so there'll be meetings to come with all that type of stuff. During an event like we had last March, we're gonna be able to blast out information we need through them anyway.
Okay.
And like you said, then it's like, I think of like poor old Mrs. Smith, like how many different,
Yeah, where do I go?
she's struggling to get onto the website to
Yeah.
begin with, and then she's gotta visit 3 different sites, like,
Yeah.
to just go one place and get all the information is probably best for everybody.
Yeah, one of the things I've seen too is some websites will have, like on a side navigation, their Facebook feed. So if you're on the main site, you might have off to the side all the recent posts from the light department would be posted on that website. It's like cross-shared from Facebook into that or something,
Because
or Twitter even.
the police department has a very strong Facebook page.
They do, yeah, and they do
Dispatch
good posts.
24/7, they can
Exactly.
update it
Yeah,
as needed, and that's,
But
if
to
you're
get-
gonna go that route, you need somebody manned in the station to do it, so, yeah, it makes sense that they're the one that does it, I think.
And for emergency purposes, they're kind of the focus point for that. And they do blast out different things if there's an emergency. They usually put it on their site things, or you get that phone call on the talent, what is it, Blackboard.
Blackboard Connect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So those are all valuable. But yeah, for advertising campaigns and things like that,
Excellent.
good for some purposes.
Anybody got anything else?
Good.
All other items not anticipated by the chair?
Is there anything else?
No, I didn't have anything else. No.
Yeah, we should tee up the EV charger discussion in the future.
You want that on the next meeting?
Will there be any?
So
Will we be able to advance the ball to have a discussion by the next meeting? You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
So if it's feasible, if it's feasible, then yes. But
It's not far-fetched to think that someday we're gonna have an electric vehicle. We talked about, I know Dan talked about having one in the meter reading vehicle, which is currently the Toyota Tacoma, plenty of life left in that. Right now, there's no real like all-wheel drive mid-size EVs, but supposedly they're on their way.
get a Tesla SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
go
could.
for Model 3 all-wheel drive. You can go a little
They're
smaller.
pretty nice looking. I've seen a couple go by down my neck of the woods. But yeah, I think as more options come out with those, which is going to buy us a little bit more time to replace it at the proper time and not rush the replacement,
I saw a thing
then we might be in the
that
talks.
Tesla was coming out with a four-wheel drive F-150 style four-wheel drive pickup truck that was going to be priced at an F-150 level. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's
Not here yet, but
It's a little.
yeah,
They're getting there.
yeah. Well, that's their goal or whatever. So
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
by the time the Tacoma's ready to retire, maybe we'll look at something.
Some of
like
the
that.
roads that thing goes down are steep,
I know.
or
I don't know if you were around. We bought when you were around in Ipswich. We bought a hybrid. It was like a Silverado, and they made it for like 2 years.
It had a plug in it.
Yeah, I helped the Silverado, and there's
I
a
remember.
reason. There's a reason they only made it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So the technology just isn't there yet. It's coming.
Yeah,
not
it's
there
okay
yet.
to be patient and get
Yeah.
the second year's
Yeah.
model.
Yeah,
The third
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
So you gotta be cognizant of that. but,
Right. Yeah,
Let them work out the bugs.
Yeah. If there was.
From the audience, question. Did they forget to get the camera in here tonight?
It's right behind you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry. Didn't see you. Okay, all
The
right.
lights were off.
The lights are off, yes.
We forgot the lights, but remembered the camera.
All right, okay. No, that's all. I came in, it was dark in here, so.
I know it was. Thanks for coming, Bob.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like
thank
you have good candidates,
I agree.
and you'll be all set, I think. Sounds good. I talked to Matt, but I think you're all set. You know, no problem.
Excellent.
Okay.
Absolutely. Bob, as always, appreciate it.
Well, it was fun. 6 years of good times, and I enjoyed it. And I know you guys do a good job, and I read all your background, so I know you're real good. And it's tough to choose between the two of you, believe me. Okay. So, anyways, all the best.
All right.
And I'll
Thanks,
see you
Bob.
at the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
July 1.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, if there's no other items to discuss,
Bruins.
Bruins, yes. All right.
Big
Motion
deal.
adjourned?
Second motion,
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
I'm giving an eye, but I.
Aye.